Byrd in the Jackson community. Just recently, the Clarion-Ledger and the Maynard Institute collaborated and created what is called the Jackson Voices Project. The goal here is to provide a way for the community to communicate in mainstream media. Today, we're joined by Shelia Byrd and two bloggers, Sondra and Catoria with more details about this particular project. And Shelia, what is this project all about?
Well, it's an opportunity to give the community a voice, to allow them to talk about issues that are important to them in mainstream media.
And can you believe we're calling the internet mainstream media? Never thought I'd see that day.
Well, and one of the reasons that we say that is that some of these stories will be published in the Clarion-Ledger newspaper.
But, well, what types of things are you anticipating people to be talking about?
Well, you know, I really think that's a good question for our bloggers. We have two of them here, and they can tell you some of the issues that they want to talk about or some of the subjects they want to tackle.
Catoria, tell me.
Okay. Well, my last story was about the Mississippi Blues Marathon, and I just kind of talked about health awareness in the Black community. And the next story I plan on doing is just about Black businesses in my neighborhood. I recently moved to Sondra, and so I just kind of want to discuss what it's like to be a business owner, especially a Black business owner in that community.
Are you getting responses on those topics?
So far, I've heard more stuff from Facebook friends than I have on the actual blog. But I have gotten some responses, just from people who wouldn't normally, I guess, know what's out there to know. As far as like the Mississippi Blues Marathon, everybody knew about the marathon, but people didn't realize there weren't that many Black people in the marathon. Blues, obviously, is something that's very important to the Black community, but health awareness is something that we really have to work on. So I thought it was a great blog to write.
That is a good blog. Sondra, you're also a blogger, and are you blogging about different stuff than Catoria is?
Well, what I've tried to do is engage people in my community and really find out things that are important to them. And one of the things that is in the news right now is the inauguration and the new government that's coming into play. And just the last blog that I wrote dealt with the inclusiveness of the services that have gone on and how everyone is a part of Jackson. We've all got a voice and we all have a place and a niche, so we want to all be represented in this new government.
Any of you finding that people want things to get better within the city?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I mean, in the neighborhoods, I mean,
one of the reasons that I was interested in this project after I left the Associated Press was that I've always gotten a sense from the community that there's some type of disconnect between what's actually happening in the community and what's written about or broadcast on television. And yes, there's a lot of discourse going on within the community about good things that are happening. And that's one of the things that we want to highlight. The positive news that's going on in the community and giving voice to some people who normally wouldn't have the opportunity to talk about it.
So you're not necessarily looking for people to help clean up their neighborhood through this website, or are you?
Well, what we have done is recruited 10 average citizens to talk about their community, to shine a spotlight on it, talk about the good, and if they think it's important to also discuss some of the problems that they may have in their community, to do that as well, with the hope of improving it or finding some solutions to it.
Is there going to be a problem with the technology of it? Not everybody has a home computer. Most everybody does have a phone computer, or at least they seem to, right. that you can reach the internet. I mean, will they be blogging by phone, you think?
Well, I think it's also important to remember that we have our 10 writers for this iteration of it. Now, we're going to do it again in 9 months, and we will recruit more bloggers for that. And all the bloggers that we have, we are providing some equipment, for instance, some cameras. They're also going to be trained on news writing and how to take photographs. As for your question of whether or not there could be some problem with the technology and some people may not have access to it, that's where we hope some of the stories being published in the newspaper will help us out.
Yeah, I'm sure you would always take letters. I mean, Sondra, where do you get your ideas from?
Basically from people in the community. I've shared with them what I'm doing, and I was just I couldn't believe how excited people were about the fact that this event was taking place. And I've had 3 or 4 people that just come up to me and say, hey, why don't you do a story on this? Or why don't you write a blog about this? And they're willing to provide me information and talk to me about whatever that issue is.
Okay, you sign up to be a part of this, or?
Well, we have our 10 bloggers, but what's important for the public to remember is that we want to hear from you.
Right.
We want you to tell us what's going on. Let us know about events. Our Facebook page, our website, and also our Twitter feed. Those are avenues for you to promote events in your community and to give us feedback on our stories and give us suggestions for other stories.
What a unique way to go. Anybody else doing this in the country?
Well, actually, this is patterned after a project in Oakland, California.
All right. Well, ladies, good luck with it. Sounds very interesting. And just get on the internet and you can participate. Thank you so much. Next at midday, the Mississippi Symphony Orchestra presents Mozart by Candlelight.